Ready for it.
Thrilled for it.
Presenting France with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
Punjab Kings, they'd be relieved. They're relieved that they managed to get the result. 219 is what they got. And Jaiswal and Suryavanshi were trying to do what they did against the Gujarat Titans. They got off to a flyer, 89 in the power play. And there were other phases, Dustin, one there when their win probability was 60% plus.
Yeah, I mean, even at the 15 over mark, they were looking, in decent shape. At least it was a close contest at that point. I think they needed 11 and over the back 10 or 11, which you'd usually back teams to get. But it's the fifth chase in a row now, I think, where Rajasthan, not in a row, but this season, where Rajasthan have had a good start, but lost by, between 10, 12 runs and less.
Yeah, they just don't seem to get the job done in total. Either certain batters fire and certain don't. Today, Parag missed out last time. He fired at least. They still fell short. It's just the Rajasthan Royals story in a chase.
And it do happens in a season when things are not going your way. And we have also experienced, you must have experienced as a coach, I experienced as a player, when things are not going your way, so those little things doesn't go your way as well. And this is what happened today as well. They started off brilliantly, 6 overs, 89 runs, and from there you lose a game because 220 is always a challenging chase. You lose a couple of wickets and then all of a sudden you're playing that catch-up game, and especially when your middle order is not in the best of the form, and that's what exactly happened. The middle order is not in the best of the form. Dhruv Jurel batted well, but there was no partner with around to support him, and that's why they ended up 10 runs short.
What would you be writing in your coach's book when you watch a performance? Another one like that go down.
First thing that came to mind when Jaiswal got out was someone in that top order needed to get a big score. I'm not saying 100, but a big 50, an 80, a 90, and if they can tip over 100, even better. To chase a total like that, you need someone to be able to have an impact like that. So, otherwise it's just puts so much pressure on your middle order. And you look at their top five; they all got starts, and no one really kicked on and played that match-winning innings. There was nice moments. Yeah. There was some lovely shots. There was no match-winning innings.
I think it was their record power play. They were 89 after the power play, and that's the highest for Rajasthan.
I mean, it's a rare day with a team that's actually won both power plays.
Yeah, well, and the thing, I remember looking after that, soon after that power play, and they needed something like 137 off 87. Yeah. And in that position, when you're only one down, it's cruise control.
I'm just trying to think that they don't bat badly, and they mess games up. It's just such a weird thing, and I hate to bring this up again and again. When you talk about player who takes control of a chase, the Josh Butler release. I mean, you don't have players batting all that badly.
It's a really good point, because he would have been that 80 or 90.
Yeah, correct. And that's what he's doing for GT at the moment. He comes at number 3, he takes the game deep, and then whenever it needed to accelerate, he accelerates. Whenever he just want to play the anchor's role, he plays that. So that's what the experience does.
They have batters who are at least now experienced enough. I mean, Samson, would you call that okay, it's his first game back, but Samson can play that role. Parag should be playing that role. He got a score in the last game. It just never seems to fire together. Now, is that because you again have too many similar batters where when the wicket falls, they're taking their time. They take 10, 11 balls, 10, 11 balls, 10, 11 balls. Some of them kick on, some don't. And you lose a game.
And doing that, like 10, 11 balls, so you're putting a lot of pressure, because especially when a chase like this in a 220, if you take 7, 8 balls also, as a bowler, you're happy, because that required run rate, which is already 10.5, you're pushing it to 12. And then from there, you're going for big shots. You're ending up losing your wicket. Yeah. So then you're struggling.
This is also where we go back to Hetmyer. Because you think that if you're going to be a specialist, high-profile player to face 10, 12 balls with 10s and 11s to get, you need to get at least 2 or 3 of those 12 balls away for 6, and then you win the game. And it's another game where that's not happened. It's probably the hardest job, Tom, in the game. But
without a doubt, batting in the middle is the hardest role to play, and he's done it very well historically. The sample size today is probably tough to reflect on his impact as a middle order player, but he just really looked like he struggled for rhythm. Was he one that went back to the Caribbean, Hetmyer? Do we know, or did he stay? Because if he did, that may have a lot to do with the fact that he was just a little bit off today, because that's a big time travel.
Not entirely sure
if he went all the way to the Caribbean.
I think a lot of the West Indians were parked in Dubai. but I wasn't. I'm not sure if
Okay.
Hetty was there.
Well, I'm just trying to find a reason because
100%.
he didn't have the same rhythm that he normally does because he does try to put the opposition under pressure pretty early on with a couple of boundaries.
Spin it the other way though. Punjab, Harpreet Brar, what a big impact
Yeah, brilliant.
as an impact sub.
Well, the way he bowled, it was really brilliant to watch because the pitch wasn't there for the spinners to bowl because there was hardly any help for the spinner. But he made sure that he's bowling stump to stump, which we were discussing continuously. That if you bowl stump to stump, being a fast bowler or a spinner, that makes life difficult for the batters. And that's what he exactly did. He bowled one difficult over in the power play where he got the wicket as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, in power play. I
Yeah,
guess.
power play,
Suryavanshi,
yeah.
and it was 67 without loss.
Correct. So that important wicket, and after that, putting the brakes on the runs and picking wicket also consistently, I think he was just brilliant.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
3 for 22.
and two left-handers at the top there. Now, Brar actually has better numbers against lefties than a lot of left-arm spinners. But brave call from Shashank Singh, the stand-in captain, and they also slowed things down. Those 3 or 4 balls in that 5th over, which led to the Suryavanshi wicket.
Because we have seen when two left-handers were on a strike in CSK game, Yuzvendra Chahal didn't get the bowling because Shreyas was there. And sometimes as a captain, you feel that matchup thing. So because of that, if he was there on the field today, just thinking about that, so Brar might have not bowled that over because two left-handers were on a strike.
I'm curious how much of an influence Shashank would have had. Because Ponting was just out and in his ear throughout, dugouts, I'm sure there was big influence there, but how much would you
Definitely.
put down to the stand-in captain today and his efforts?
Oh, you never want to take anything away from his role as captain today. I'm sure he has done a great job, but knowing Ricky and how he operates, it would have been like he had an earpiece in there.
Yeah, but it was the spinners who kind of made the difference because
Yeah,
you look
100%.
at Punjab, 8 overs, 3 for 52 with spin. And you go back to the first innings, I think Rajasthan, they only managed 6 overs of spin and they went for 58. So, and I think this track was clearly offering something for the spinners, but the Rajasthan spinners couldn't get out of it what the Punjab spinners eventually did.
Yep, all right, there you have it. And they'd be happy they got the 219. In a way, Punjab, would you call this, they did on the evidence of 40 overs deserve to win this game?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. They batted well. They've got a competitive total. As I said in the halftime break, I thought it was over par. And they responded well after being put very much on the back foot after the power play. Yeah. So they showed character as a unit to be able to respond well to looking like the game was going to slip away very quickly.